Division S, baby! Division S is back. Yes, Season 2 has finally started and we are jumping into our first Best of 5 series today. We have Wind and Rain. They're back, sponsoring the team around Macke, and they go up against Feel the Heat today. 8 teams once again in Division S, and it is going to be pretty fantastic. Yeah, we've been waiting quite some time for that, I gotta say. We had a lot of Division 7, a lot of Division 6, we had a lot of memes and fun on the channel, but now we are back to the boys. And the first ban goes to Uther right away, the man with the beard. This is obviously week number 1. The Deathwing ban is also immediately through, so every single hero is allowed right now. All of this is taking place on the latest patch, and it is gonna be pretty fantastic, I gotta say. So yeah, very hyped for it. Zeratul gets banned against Dainu on the other side, so Feel the Heat also with a few adjustments to the lineup from the last time that you've probably seen them. And it should be a pretty sweet series. We have several best of 5s, 4 best of 5s every week, of course. And there's going to be a lot of action around that. Harzobs and his boys are still in with Washed Up. We have Lauber's Fan Club in here. So all the big names are back to business. Few exceptions. Nothing changed, for example. The Polish team withdrew from Division S. To my knowledge, they actually pretty much stopped playing Heroes of the Storm. And that's one of the reasons why they said, listen, great that you all set this up again, but right now we're just like moving back from this. An Oriel first pick for Wind and Rain. Yeah, those changes to Resurrect apparently making a strong argument here for Wind and Rain, whereas Feel the Heat is going into X-Ray's Ana with a Li Ming setup right away. So the nano boost on Li Ming to absolutely wreck the front line, and together with Oriel, you guessed it already, traditionally you go into a Vala setup, and Macke is obviously straight up on the job. In this case he doesn't get his Li Ming, but Vala totally fine here for him. We got Cursed Hollow, so we could see also a bit more of a macro approach by the teams later on in the draft. De Haka still possibly up. We've seen more Falstad at the end of 2018, 19, both years actually. But for now, Zarya is banned out, and that makes a lot of sense. If you have a Oriel and Vala setup already, you add a Zarya to the mix, and you have an insane foreman that just allows you to just push through the lanes without any problem whatsoever. So in this case, that's something that Feel the Heat wanted to deny to them. And yep, there we go. We have Garrosh banned out for the front line, and with Feel the Heat now jumping into it, and with all the way up at the top, what are we going to get there? There's obviously still a couple of heroes that would also excel here, just for traditionally speaking, but for, yeah, makes sense that for Wit we're going to get Johanna. Blade with Thrall now, so going straight into the queues. And I have to admit, it's kind of fine and funny to finally have like a Thrall that it will not go into a crushed lightning, since that's obviously what we're seeing in all the ARAMs and have seen throughout the entire ARAM tournament that we just recently had on the YouTube channel here. But yeah, with the last 2 picks coming in now for Wind and Rain as we're heading into the first game of the Best of 5 series. We have Blaze and we have Rhaegar. Okay. Cursed Hollow, ladies and gentlemen. Strong setup already with a lot of wave clear, also mercenary camp clear on the side of Wind and Rain. And Feel the Heat can still respond with either another melee or a second damage dealer from afar with Dainu. And there's Falstad. The bird is in, as we already said, and we are good to go and ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. Cursed Hollow. Map number 1 in the Best of 5 series between Wind and Rain and Feel the Heat here in Division S. Game number 1, Cursed Hollow, and we have on the left side in blue Wind and Rain with Macke on Vala, Skog on Greymane, Max Passion on Blaze, G on Oriel, and Backworld on Mal'Ganis. To the right side of the map, Feel the Heat with X-Ray on Ana, Wit on Johanna, Dainu on Falstad, Blade on Thrall, and Driver on Li Ming for Feel the Heat. Oh, pretty solid setups here for the 2 teams. Obviously, slight adjustments since the last time that we saw Division S around has been a while, and especially with Christmas and New Year's Eve, most of the teams have actually not played in any big tournaments, since we had a couple of weeks with not a lot of action here when it comes to higher level tournaments. So here we go, level 1 talents. We actually have a Falstad auto attack build in this case from Dainu. Not going into the traditional wingman on this map here, but instead a bit of a different setup. Also, Echo of Elements for Thrall. That at least not a surprise, already hinted at during the draft. Obviously on this map you want to have the second charge. Very rarely do you actually go for Crash Lightning in higher level plays. especially on maps like these. A good map for it can be Battlefield of Eternity if Thrall is part of the 4-man, which in this case is definitely not happening, since he's still stuck on that solo lane. Alright, but now top side, that we have Dino already under attack, and he has our 3-man setup. One of the reasons why Zarya was banned, for exactly this problem. If Zarya isn't banned and Wind and Rain picks her, then they just barrel through one lane with 4 heroes while the other soaks 2 Experience lanes. Especially with the Experience Globe changes coming through, you can now be a little bit more sloppy in those rotations, and you have more time to execute them. So it's even easier on a map like this to double soak, and in that case a 4-man that absolutely crushes through a lane defense would be the end of the opponent's team. So Zarya banned out so that she can't work together with Oriel, Vala and Rhaegar here. But as it also happens, we are currently looking towards a little bit of action in the one-on-one lane. We have camps taken from Li Ming and Rhaegar 1 minute into the game, both of the teams looking for their siege giants. And all the way up to the top now, the continued approach to try and take some of these towers down. And the first one is already suffering a little bit, but thanks to Wit, they can wave clear the minions away quickly enough to make the plays here. Whip into the corner, alright, nicely done on the side of Gia. Talons come in and the multi-shot bit continues for Maka. That's even more wave clear for them now, so pretty good moment to help those siege giants finish what they started. That's exactly why Dryfer already rotated topside to help the rest of the team out. It's a 3 versus 3 setup, but X-Ray again in trouble and nearly going down. Has to tap the fountain early already. And they're still trying to push this back. Not easy for them, especially since the siege giants and the 3-man already broke through the first tower. Second one falls, and the gate is also eliminated. Massive amount of value here on the top lane from the blue team. They're doing an absolutely fantastic job here right now, and are obviously hoping to also grab that fountain, or maybe even put some damage onto the fort itself. Another whip into the corner, a little bit more damage, and the siege giants are still doing their work up to the point where Li Ming is finally able to take them down. But great early game value, destroying the 2 walls, limiting vision now of course too. Bot side, this is where the first tribute spawns in a couple of seconds, and Thrall and Blaze are currently the only ones that are really interested at it. So down to the bottom, yep, there we go. Blade is already sitting tight, and X-Ray is going to try for the channel. Max Passion should be able to interrupt at least once, and the blue team is obviously rotating in 2. They're a bit closer to level 7. Nearly the interrupt. Doesn't have to use the chain lightning here. Money pig action as Backhul is trying to arrive in time, and they're nearly making it happen, but Wit and X-Ray were on guard duty and were able to prevent the worst here. Once again, Condemn coming through for the interrupt. Level 7 abilities are in slightly quicker with the Arsenal coming through for Vala now. And they're trying to make the play. Up at the front, the tanks are soaking as much of the damage as they possibly can. The channel nearly goes through, but the flashlight from Johanna interrupts it. Fawcett, by the way, is doing what Fawcett needs to do. He's on the off lane. He's trying to get the extra experience. Feel the Heat already signaling that they're totally willing to give this one up if they can just get the opponent up at the top. Here's the attack! And there's the kill. Down goes Thrall. The stacks on the Frostwolf Resilience, on the Frostwolf packs, are annihilated. Ana is also down. That's a double kill for Wind and Rain as they straight up go for the gate itself. Nicely done by them so far. They get the tribute, they get the double kill, they go for the gate, and they destroy the entire thing. So 2 walls already ripped apart by Wind and Rain. That's what Wind and Rain will do to you. If you leave structures alone and unintended for too long, Wind and Rain are slowly and steadily going to poke against them and taking them down here, which is exactly what we're seeing. This is true for real life and for Heroes of the Storm as well. And you can say what you want about real life, but the graphics are absolutely amazing. Okay, camps are now being taken. I mean, this is a bit of a setback for Feel the Heat, obviously, granted. We have the camp taken on the left side a little bit quicker. Second tribute also comes in. Top side has originally been pushed down to 50%. Fawcett has, of course, tried to also do some damage on the left, but has barely managed. I mean, he nearly took 1 tower down, but hasn't quite accomplished that goal. By now, with level 7, we have Calamity in 2, which is, of course, quite important. Also, we have Boomerang again on level 7, as you need to do, even with an auto-attack build. Vala down, that's a perfect kill at the perfect moment in time. The Hyper Carry is dead, and so is the Doggy. Both of them eliminated. That's a quick double kill, and whoa, Feel the Heat turning up the heat by quite a bit, looking for kill number 3 against Mal'Ganis, and they get it. Triple kill for the red team. That's an easy tribute. Nicely done by them. And with 3 heroes down, the immediate focus onto the boss. But as I said before, if you go into Falstad, even with an auto attack build, Seasoned Marksman, Hammer Gains, you still always want to go into Boomerang. Best talent level 7, hands down. Seasoned Marksman is a noob trap and nothing else. That talent, for example, also allowed Falstad to push out the top lane a little bit more, which gives him the real value on his global. And it's exactly what helped him earlier to stay in touch with the experience. And the burst damage obviously helps a lot when you're trying to burst the target down, especially when it's already pre-stunned by a hero like either Falstad or Johanna. Level 10 abilities for both sides now, and a bit of action in the middle of the map, but the real push is happening topside, where Falstad is currently helping the boss out to get through the wall, and maybe even take down the entire fort. That would of course be the dream here. There's a little bit of a battle raging on in the middle as already Thrall commits to his heroic ability. Nice setup with a sleep, and there's the kill. Liming with Calamity comes in. The Resurrect is about to come through though. Oriel is dead. Vala dies again. And it's an absolute disaster for Wind and Rain as Feel the Heat is just crushing them and goes straight up for the next boss on the map. Blaze is topside, still defending against the first one. Gets rooted here for a moment too. Siege Giants helped with the defense a little bit. Another channel, that's going to be tribute number 2, and they actually let the boss go. They actually let it go for now. Most of them were without any mana, so they didn't want to risk anything here. They went for the safer play instead. They also need to take care of the top lane so that Blaze cannot push that out. But great fight for the red team. Feel the Heat, doing well. Initially, a little bit shaky, losing the 2 heroes, definitely didn't do anything for them. But then 7 kills in a row for the red team, 19,000 damage now for Vala, 20,000 for Li Ming. So that they're looking good. Here's the boss attempt though, and this time it comes from Wind and Rain. So far it hasn't been sniffed out, Johanna sees it. The problem is she sees it a little bit too late, so they can't really do anything about it. It's a bit of a lost opportunity. Feel the Heat. They didn't want to risk it. Now they themselves are in trouble. Well, I don't really want to call it trouble, but they definitely lost out, of course, on the push bot side. And this is where now Wind and Rain is trying to find an advantage by pushing that out properly. They are still behind with an entire talent, which makes team fights very uncomfortable for them. But there's also the curse against them. So curse for boss, and that could definitely help. But the boss needs to be taken care of somehow. Falstad would be well advised to stay topside to at least soak the experience there. As you all know, you kind of need to split out onto the lane so that you get all the experience that is taken here. They're trying to go for the kill too. They get the root. They're going for Mal'Ganis, and he is getting out of this. The rest of the team was just close enough to really help him. And now we have also on level 13 the Giant Killer for Dino in combination with Seasoned Marksman. It's worth a lot. Fort's obviously deactivated. Blade wants to go for the aggression, maybe a little bit too aggressive here. Going for 1 versus 5 setup pretty much. But they are about to get the kill against Backward. They heal the Ancestral, it's all there. That's the save right now. The double support setup, definitely keeping them alive long enough. It's a great job from the blue team. Oriel plus Rhaegar really allowing Mal'Ganis to go deep here. Hasn't done a lot for them in this game since they still suffered 7 deaths. But they are still able to keep everybody in play, at least in this little encounter. And Thrall finally goes down too, so it's a double whammy. Bot side, that's where we also have now even more of a pressure play from Feel the Heat, who is still ahead in experience. So they're doing quite well with that. Already pushing this through, and let's see how this is going to work out. Now the camp is already being taken, 1 fort down on each side. The one at the top, very, very low on the other hand. And down to the bottom of the map, Wit is now going to try and soak some experience up too. Yeah, that's a little bit of a weird one. The double support setup here with Vala being the main and only carry, then the 2 melee carriers also at the front. It kind of worked up to a point, but now they're only looking at 3 kills against 7. So even with all of that survivability, with Bunker, if nobody is there, Vala went way too deep, and Feel the Heat said thank you, and that was a very, very quick kill without any problems for them at all. I mean, that's the problem. If you have a hyper carry, the hyper carry needs to be protected and can't just walk out on the lane all alone like that. So they thought that she was safe, but neither any of the tanks nor any of the supports were here to help her out. So the gank did wonders for Feel the Heat, and once that Vala is gone, they can pretty much without punishment do whatever they want on the map, since the main damage is taken out. So they are closing in on level 16 talents, which is going to give them another big advantage. 26,000 damage on Thrall, already quite solid for them. And you would actually expect that with Bunker and a double support, it would be quite tricky for the red team to get any kills, but right now, they're doing pretty well on that front. They're doing really well. And in comes another attempt through the mid lane with the level 16 talent advantage to get a few more of those. But of course, survivability is strong. There's another Ancestral. Immediately Rhaegar also following up with the Earthquake. Blaze isn't here yet, but the fort goes down. Feel the Heat plays is exactly like they should. You have a talent advantage, you're trying to force a fight. Easy peasy, simple as that. Once again, the aggression here. And we have also Thunderstorm completed now, so they're trying to go in for the kill, and Vala dies again. Can be resurrected though, that's what Gia is for here. Vala back to business, trying to move in once more. Backward is also low, gets barely saved by Rhaegar and Auriel. Nicely done. And now the red team is on the run as everybody is attempting to slow them down so that Vala gets a few more shots in. 3 kills against 9. Another quick hit right there. Vala now with a Manticore on level 16. And it's tribute time all the way at the top as Marco Choo Choo is going straight up with his little Choo Choo train topside. Whip into the wall. Blessed Shield as a bit of a thank you. The setup for Li Ming, but she's a bit too slow. We apparently didn't communicate that properly or fast enough. At least it seemed that Li Ming was a little bit surprised by it. 30 stacks now for Dino and Falstad, and here comes the attack again. It's only game number 1, by the way. Teams are fighting tooth and nail for this, but it's only game 1. Blade in trouble. Blade gets away. Yeah, well, the fort is not going to be that lucky, though. The attack against Johanna could be a strong one, but Vala needs to be careful. There's the strafe. Where's the heal? Market dodging out on the damage and gets healed by Auriel. Everybody's slow, and there's the double kill. They worked hard for it, and they finally get it. Rhaegar is also down, could be resurrected in a couple of seconds since Auriel is going to have her ult back up. Dino is there. There's the whip into the corner, and Blade is nearly taken down, but able to rush away. Gets a bit of assistance from Ana, who gets one shot after another through to help out here. And more chain lightnings are crushing in. Auriel with the resurrect attempt again of Tumalganis has already used it, and he's back. So this is really getting some value. And we have 11 kills against 5 now. But still a solid position for both teams here. No keeps down, only forts eliminated. Both teams with 1 fort still on the map. That's a good one. It's a really nice setup that we currently have from them. So they're starting to move bot side again. Seems like boss is going to be on the table, especially with the red team focusing on their own at the top. A little bit of a cheeky move if you think about it. They had only 3 heroes as they started this entire endeavor. But they're still going for it. So it's going to be a boss for a boss that we're going to see here. And down at the bottom of the map, that one is obviously going to be taken as well. So it's another trade, and both teams have lost the fort on the boss lane. So this one is going to push for keep on both sides. And now the big question will become, who's going to go for the defense? Who's going to go for the offense? If anyone. And it seems like both teams are just saying, well, we probably should hold on to our own keep here. Tribute is also spawning, and that could be even a curse against Feel the Heat if the blue team is willing to commit to it. It's a little bit better from a positioning point of view for the blue team, much closer to their end. There's already 3 heroes, even a nano boost being used for Driver here to take that boss down. Topside boss, Siege Giants are going to help out with that as well. They're going to try and take that one apart, and this looks very much like Curse. Yep, that's going to be a Curse. Nobody's even moving in, the position is just too good, and there we have it. Curse against the red team, and now the opportunity to get some value, especially of course with the night camp in the middle. That was taken early, and that is really going to empower this push now. I mean, really. Those minion waves are just going to evaporate, and then with the spell aura you have a fantastic push to try and go for the keep here, especially since they're still half a level behind. They want to wreak as much havoc now as they possibly can. Level 16 talent, the Will of Heaven, so the auto attack speed for Vala is now also in, and once that she has her Farflight Quiver with Manticore, she is going to be able to put a lot of pressure onto Johanna and Thrall at the front line. And that's obviously the nightmare for Feel the Heat. They've done well in team fights, but they really start to struggle now on the map. since this push is gonna hit them hard, and that's exactly what it currently does. The fight is there before level 20 has been taken by Feel the Heat, so still even talents. Bunker is already out, but they already realize that this is going to be a little bit tricky. Here comes the Ancestral. That one is completely through, worked wonders, but they still need to keep the rest alive. Dino also in trouble. A big vault by Vala trying to take him down, but all of them are a little bit low as the healing ward comes out. And they hold on to the keep, at least for now. Blade with level 20 is already starting to move in. Whip is actually missing. Falstad with the fly. He wants the gust. He gets the gust. The wind tunnel is there. And they get the kill against Blaze. Blaze down. 12 kills against 5. The quest completed. 4 Falstad. And everybody else just on the way back. Now, there isn't too much that can be taken here right now, if we're completely honest. There's no boss that can be exploited. They can go to the bottom and take the fort apart. But there's no curse. There's no boss. So the time that Blaze is dead is going to give a little bit of map control to Feel the Heat, but it's not like they can do a whole lot with this right now. 5 deaths on Vala. Now, in all fairness, we also have to say that, of course, a few of those deaths were after Vala initially died and then got resurrected and got killed again. 56,000 damage by Thrall. Blade putting the numbers onto the board with 65,000 on Vala, still putting her into the pole position for the max damage in this game. And there's level 20 talents, and now of course we have with level 16 the Farflight Quiver. Big talent for Vala. Super big talent for her. For Oriel, the Shield of Hope. We're having the Seeker Swarm, Burn Notice and Storm Shield. So overall just real strong sustain talents and making them very, very safe. And if you really bank all your hopes on that one damage dealer, then the extra range is going to come in quite handy, especially since Mako, of course, can now really get Manticore value. And that's exactly what he needs to. And it's a little bit of a problem for Johanna. She went into the Radiating Faith right here, and it will be interesting to see if he is able to survive. I mean, there's a lot of tools in the arsenal of Johanna to deal with this, Blind being one of them. But Vala is already starting to take aim, and now that the trade is on cooldown, that's one problem. So at this point, let's see how exactly this is going to work out for them. I mean, the next fight is... yeah, the next fight is actually going to be really, really interesting. It's not... I mean, here's the problem, or here's the thing. We are looking at the first tribute. You can let this one go. Let's just face it, nobody gives a flying fuck about this one. It's like tribute number 1, of course you want to accumulate them all, it's a little bit like a Pokemon game, but at the same time, if you miss out on one, it's not going to be a problem in the long run. So if you feel you're in a bad spot, then just back off and say like, well, we're going to fight for the next one, that's fine. But there will be a battle eventually between the two teams where everybody has to just go for it. And it could be this one. We'll see how it works out. If they can be forced into a fight, then by all means. Thrall, obviously, with his Thunderstorm, is just poking ahead. Fawcett has by now 45 stacks on the level 1, so that's also quite important for him here. Gets more and more auto-attack damage in against the front line. We talk a lot about Vala, and rightfully so, but Fawcett shouldn't be neglected here either. His auto-attacks start to hurt, especially when he activates his activatable after the level 1 quest completion. 12 kills give the upper hand in teamfights to Feel the Heat for now. But here comes the attack setup. They're trying to push them back a little bit more. Thrall again done with the quest, so he can get even more slows out and damage. And they're starting to move in for this one. Gia is trying to get the channel through. At the same time, the wind tunnel is in. Aborts, and there's the bunker. Bunker on the ground, and they're a little bit low. The nano boost on Li Ming is absolutely empowering her, and she gets one combo off after another. But here comes the counter aggression, and as already predicted, Wit is in trouble. He's getting one hit after another from Vada, surfed straight ahead, and Thrall is in the same boat. Those Manticore shots, they hurt, and they kill them eventually. Johanna is down, and that is really where Make is going to find the full value. Just look at this. He jumped 20,000 damage in this fight, pretty much. This is where we're currently looking at. Looks incredibly solid with this. The first tribute goes over to them, and now they have also a boss up on the map. But it really comes down to Manticore on level 16, and together with that, the Farflight Quiver. Exactly there. I mean, those are the important talents, really, and Make, with that safety, with the double support, with the increased attack speed through Oriel, is just in a fantastic spot now. And this already is a problem, because as you can tell, the boss is actually going to move to the bottom of the map, and this is already prepping the bot lane. We are talking about an attack towards the core. So they have to give up that tribute. They can't fight for the tribute. There's no way. And the blue team should actually either try and go to the bot lane for core or defend against this one quickly, because if they trade keep for keep now, that would be a bitty move for them. But very likely we're going to see them just simply try and defend here. And they are ahead with this. 2 tributes against 0 means that they are going to control the next 2 fights, and when they're going to take place, that key bot side is very likely going to be taken down. Up to the top, Marke and Skorka currently trying to take that boss down, and that shouldn't be a problem. And at the bottom of the map, let's see. Might actually not even be able to take it down. No, not strong enough yet. 20 minutes in, but doesn't matter. With 4 heroes defending, they hold on to this. But this one, does he even reach the keep? I don't really think so. Nope, that one's down too. So the situation is pretty much unchanged when you look at structures on the map. More damage, of course, done, but outside of that, still the same amount standing. The big difference is that we now have 2 tributes against 0. Which means that Feel the Heat has to react to the next one. Wind and Rain can let 2 go. No problem. If they don't feel it, if it's a bad spot, if they have a bad, just like a bad position coming in, they can simply say like, screw it, we can't take the next one. But the red team has to react to every single one of them. And the next one is spawning top side left, right over here. So that's going to make it even more tricky. Down here, there's the channel already. Double camp taken as the tribute gets announced, by the way. So that's a nice setup. That's going to put even more pressure into the middle of the map, where we currently have the 4-man of Wind and Rain take the opponent's camp down and the wave apart. So this is going to be a pretty nasty push against the mid keep, and this is going to be a bad one. But now it's the tribute itself. They need to make sure that they're double checking the bush. They do exactly that. 53 stacks now for Dino and Falstad. So the attacks that we see from the bird coming in are hurting more and more. He's on 55,000 damage for a reason. But Vala is at 86 now. And is still continuing with the poke. Gets a quick 2,000 damage as shoots a proper multi-shot in. And they're zoning this completely out now. Things are starting to get a little bit dicey for Feel the Heat. It's game number 1 in the best of 5 series. But this could be it. And the tactical 3-2-3 pause as Marke pauses the game and has to double check what's happening now. The position is actually not too bad. But before the game gets actually restarted, let's take a quick look at the mid lane, as I said again. So already we have this pushing through. There's currently no catapults with this push, but they have the camp itself. And also even in the next wave, there's no catapult. But this push alone should be able to take that keep down. And once the keep is down, you have the continuous catapult pressure. So even if up at top the red team is able to take the tribute, they should actually lose at least 1 keep in the middle, and that would give a macro advantage over to the blue team. At the bottom of the map, we have more or less an equilibrium. The catapult is going to push this out a bit, so there's not going to be too much that's happening there. Top side, on the other hand, this catapult with the minion waves is going to start putting some pressure onto the top keep. Now, given the time frame and given that they're so close yet, this should not really result in another keep taken down. So it's really just the mid keep on the red team side that is the big problem. But it's still something to definitely acknowledge at this point and just put out there. Also, bosses, just as a side note, are up in 246. So with that, even for tribute number, well, after this one more, it's not going to be any problem whatsoever, at least shouldn't. So bosses for the time being are kind of removed as an objective point on the map. When it comes to damage outputs alone, Vala's obviously taking the charts right now with the 87,000 that she's holding, but we also have still Thrall with 72,000, so the continuous poke that we're seeing from Blade with Q is incredibly strong. He gets 1 chain lightning through after another, and thanks to him continuously rotating through the thunderstorm here, you can see him completing the talent again just as he moves in. He's also providing a lot of slow and therefore control during the team fights, which helps the team to set themselves up a little bit better. Blaze, after they initially try to move through here, is now also able to go through the small side point here, so they're gonna have a full 5 versus 5 if they want it, and now it comes down to the cooldowns pretty much. We still have the Resurrect for Auriel, which is gonna be a huge tool, of course, throughout the fight, but on the other hand, once that we see a decent setup with, let's say, the Blessed Shield on Johanna, plus then Nano Boost on Li Ming, that's when really the shit is gonna hit the fan, because Dryfer is gonna look for those attacks. The problem is really just how do you take them down now. I gotta say that the red team actually did a really good job throughout the entire game taking Vala in particular down, and which is pretty recommendable if you think about this for just a moment, because there's a double support against you plus Blaze. So it's really not that easy to break through all of this. But Vala in this case is now a lot safer because she has her Farfly Quiver and she also has Gloom. So those two talents alone are going to make her so much safer. Better from a positioning point of view and also better from how much damage she can actually eat from an nano boosted limbing. So as long as Make stays rather safe, they should be able to get a lot of damage out. Time works in their favor because of that keep in the middle, so that one will likely fall if they stall this out a little bit more. So the pressure is more on the red team for now. They can't really sustain a long battle, especially also because with the double support, any kind of poke damage that you eat at this point is much easier to compensate for the blue team than the red team. So if Li Ming, for example, shoots a couple of combos out and a few of the heroes fall low in damage, then those two have an easy time of just replacing those HP. Whereas on the other side, Anna eventually is going to have a little bit more trouble with this. So right now, for the blue team, this is a great setup. And they're also in a position where they are the ones who can simply let this go. They can actually just simply say, you know what, we don't really care about this one. We're going to fight for the next one. That's totally cool with us. So if they say this is going to be a bit too tricky, they can just simply fall back from this position. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to this team making a play. And Blade has been far out the entire game already, trying to look for a good position where he can get a quick lockdown with the Wolf, especially since he has his level 4 quest completed. A good follow-up from Johanna is going to help there too. Max Passion is currently just guarding the side here, making sure that nobody's moving in, but they're already trying to zone it out a bit. And as mentioned, mid lane is pushing aggressively. Top lane, on the other hand, as predicted earlier, this one is going to get some value too. So here comes the catapult. Next minion wave is moving through too. The middle of the map though is already getting attacked, and this one, even with the catapult support, is not looking too pretty. Channel attempt in the middle, but time is really working for them. Up to the top. Okay, here comes the attack. Nano boost not in yet. Mal'Ganis goes a little bit deeper here, and the bird also on the way back as they're trying to get the lockdown against Johanna. Keep in the middle is nearly destroyed. Here's the wind tunnel as the red team is starting to fall back a bit. They've already been poked down pretty heavily, so they're rather low. Oh, the kill! What a setup! Oh my god, frame perfect kill against Mal'Ganis, just as we don't see the kill being denied by Rhaegar. He dies too. The little doggy is down. Double kill, triple kill. They're completely taking them apart. 4 heroes down and the move up to the top immediately. Core gets a bit attacked here in the middle of the map, but obviously not going to fall to this. Vala the only survivor, and they might actually try and go for the core completely. And so they should. Make is trying to slow it down, but what an attack. Auriel never really got a proper ult through in that fight. Neither did Rhaegar. And this is an absolute disaster right now. They were looking so strong, and all of a sudden they have to fear for game number 1. Vala with a strafe attempt. Mark about to go down. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be game. Wind and Rain loses to feel the heat on Cursed Hollow as the red team dominates the final team fight and is able to put the first point on the scoreboard. GG, and well played. Game number 2. Feel the Heat is in the lead, and well, just in case that somebody is a little bit surprised here as we're heading into Sky Campbell, why the name all of a sudden changed from Wind and Rain to the Vikings. So pretty much what turned out in the lobby chat is that Mark and the boys were a little bit upset because they were still listed at Wind and Rain. Apparently they are quite upset with the organization there, said that they never actually got anything from them. So it sounded, and again I'm just like assuming here, it sounded that there was some kind of deal which was not upheld by Wind and Rain. That's at least the vibe that I got, and which she pretty much said directly. I'm not quite sure why exactly we're still listed as Wind and Rain on the website. That's where I got my information from, and that's why we had them listed as that on the overlay. But instead, they are called Vikinger Fabriken again, which I just shortened into the Vikings because nobody wants to go into that crap. So pretty much the same team name that they had before. I actually thought that they reconciled with Wind and Rain and now part of the organization again after initially leaving them, but apparently that's not happened. So we're continuing from here with the Vikings. So apologies for the confusion at the start. Same for me. Had to actually ask a couple of times to finally get a proper answer there. But either way, as we're gonna go straight into this one now, we have currently our setup with bans on Uther, Deathwing, ETC, and Zeratul. Kind of familiar if you think about it. I mean, that's the same ban pattern that they had in game number 1. We also have Junkrat now, first picked actually on Sky Temple for the Vikings, as Feel the Heat is going into Oriel and Vala. I've seen this before. I've seen this movie, I think. So we have a little bit more of whip action going from X-Ray this time. And Dino apparently wants to show Make how to play a Valor main damage dealer. I was about to say like solo damage, but then again we don't really know if they add a second support, or if this is going to be a double damage setup for them on Sky Temple. With Sky Temple being the map, there's still, of course, the globals that you really want to pay some attention to. We have now Rhaegar and also Tyrael taken for Backhold. I mean, one of the Backhold's best is obviously Tyrael. We oftentimes talk a lot about his Tyrael, his Garrosh, his Johanna. Didn't get any of that in the last game, and of course since then Mal'Ganis has also made a big step into the scene just in general. But here comes Greymane, as he's been used to getting banned out against them. So no quick burst setups against heroes like Vala to take them down. And let's see. We currently have Johanna banned out. Yeah, Wit likes his Johanna. We've seen it also already in the last map, and now the same thing is happening here. But let's have a bit of a quick look at the next setup, because the question is still double support, yes or no. Are they going to add a second damage dealer? Are they okay playing Vala, which obviously 2-3 patches ago got a hit point boost, can now be played without a second support, or do they still add one? Well, they still have the option now. So we go for Mal'Ganis and Thrall again. Blade was pretty happy with his Thrall performance in game number 1, I would assume. Got a lot of damage and really good lockdowns too, so he's gonna try to perform on the same hero again, this time on Sky Temple. So far we don't see any kind of global for them though. And we still have Falstad and Dehaka both up, so they could be used here. ETC obviously already banned out, so no stage dive shenanigans in this game. But here come the last 2 picks for the Vikings, Rexa and Falstad. Yes, Make is in, so Dino and Make pretty much just switch heroes. Yeah. That's pretty much exactly what happened here. And now our last pick. What's Dreifer gonna get? The last one for Feel the Heat. And again, it is a best of 5, so we are starting into the first play day of Division S here. That's where all of the action is at. And as the last pick coming through, we've got Sonya. Alright. Let's go. Sonya plus Thrall plus Mal'Ganis at the front. Solo support Vala, not the double support, but a beefier front line instead. And there's a lot of heroes now who can definitely run on the solo lane if they need and want to. So ladies and gentlemen, let's head into Sky Temple. Game number 2 in the best of 5 between the Vikings and Feel the Heat. Game number 2 in our best of 5 on Underwater Temple. Well, only the air bubbles are missing to give you the illusion that you're actually underwater, so we could actually also rename this into Atlantis. Ever since it got that blue hue from Blizzard, it looks weird. There's no sky anymore here. It seems to be like a cloudy day on Sky Temple. On the left side, Gia on Rhaegar for the Vikings, Backhold on Tyrael, Skog on Junkrat, Max Passion on Rexa, and Make on Falstad. To the right side though, Feel the Heat with the lead in the series. X-Ray on Oriel, Blade on Sonya. Switching the hero up, Dreifer has taken over the Thrall duties for game number 1. Dino on Vala, and Wit on Mal'Ganis. Yeah, no Sonya for him this time. Talent's already coming in. The whip is missing, as we're seeing the teams both go for the big fight here in the middle, with one exception. Sonya, the Eminem of Heroes of the Storm, is already moving down to the bottom of the map for the solo lane. A little bit of a skirmish in the middle, nothing really too crazy yet. Again, the auto attack build for Falstad, so not trying to play around with any kind of mercenary camp aggression. No lightning rod in this game. And yeah, let's get this setup going. We currently have top side, Thrall sitting tight. He's holding the top lane. Sonya, as we already said, most activated in the middle. Oh, that's a kill, potentially. And there we go. First blood in as Junkrat goes down. Gets dropped. Dino with a quick first kill here. Nicely done. A man on a mission. Trying to show Make how to play Vala, apparently. And the question, of course, is can he actually pull that one off? Marke is a pretty solid player on those heroes, but in the last map, he got dropped pretty often. So Dino with the ring around the rosy play as he tries to go for the first mercenary camp here. On the opponent's side, we see two heroes doing the exact same job, with the third one even rotating in. So for safety, want to make sure that your opponent can't just simply move in and steal the camp away from you. But it's a double camp approach, and with this one taken already early, thanks to Sonya in the mix, it means that topside could be pressured heavily. There's of course an attempt to take their own camp. If you can take that in time, then it will roughly collide over there with the opponent. That would be nice for the defense and would really help them, but the question still is, can they make that work, especially if the opponent's team rotates their heroes topside. And this is what we're seeing from Feel the Heat now. They're trying to set up a very aggressive push around this camp, and they're pretty much able to do that. So yeah, before the camp on the blue team is moving in, they are more or less already able to take one of the towers down, or at least close to it. So nearly have this one destroyed. Of course, there's the rest of the aggression as the blue team is saying, well, we gotta have to say something about that. Mal'Ganis is already trying to get away from this one. Even Oriel helping out with the whip, as there was a small attempt from the blue team to maybe even get the kill against Vampire. Not quite. Mid lane pressure is still there. And I mean, without any objectives, just now the two teams are just trying to be a bit aggressive. And I have to say that this is actually a pretty push-heavy game early on. A lot of the towers have already been taken down, and thanks to the Misha Rexa setup topside, with the rest of the team now helping out with shields, especially thanks to Tyrael, they can try and break through that wall. And it is Sky Temple after all. Every single structure that you take down without using the objective is a big win, since in the long run, your temples will do more and more work to take down those keeps and attack the core. So now that the two temples are activated, this is where things are starting to become pretty interesting. Is one of the two teams able to take the first fort down here? Already, Dryfer taking topside in the middle of the map. Played is a bit alone against this. He's like, hey team, how about a little bit of help here? I'm not quite sure if I can handle this all on my own. And to maybe jump ahead a little bit, he's definitely not going to be able to do that. Bottom of the map, Marke is getting more stacks for his level 1. Wants his boomerang so that he can clear those waves a little bit quicker, but still has to wait for the next talent to pop in for them. 7 is ready for Feel the Heat by now, and they are already starting to get some damage against the topside fort, and very likely will take this one down. And yes, top fort is gonna fall. And now level 7 is in. Marke jumps into boomerang on 7 as predicted. They're trying to make the play for Mal'Ganis, and the main tank is at the end of his wits. And also at the end of his hit point pool. Down goes Mal'Ganis, X-Ray gets pushed in again, and it's a double kill. Dryfire is on the run. Yep, Thrall is very likely also going to fall here. Tries to at least go for a counter kill against Max Passion. That isn't happening either. So with a quick triple kill here, they are easily able to hold on to that. They get the final few shots in the middle of the map and have now also a small lead in experience. Nothing crazy though, because that forward topside still hurt them quite a bit. Alright, so topside. Gia, Skog and Backhold are already in position to maybe take a few hit points off Wit. Another push in from Junkrat. Nicely done. And that's the end of the next tower, isn't it? Yeah, I did this. Okay. So after initially losing a few structures in the fort, the blue team is more than only recovering. They're definitely starting to put the heat on. So at this point, still the, of course, idea to get a few of the camps, maybe the early level 10, then go for the second objective. And it's similar experience. Taking the fort down topside increases the passive experience gain on the side of Feel the Heat. That obviously helps quite a bit, and we'll see how that works out for them. But yeah, with that said, bot side, that's where the next focus is on, and both of the teams are heavily going for that. 4 versus 4 action. Thrall even rotating now into the middle. Of course, he needs to get some more minion waves there too. Both teams want to get level 10 for the next objective. Vala with one attack after another. We're currently looking also with level 7 talents at, well, Swift Retribution. That's going to be important in the long run. Level 10 abilities with Sanctification. Ancestral. There's also, again, the Resurrect. No more Aegis after the big changes that Blizzard brought through. And on the other hand, we're looking again at especially Falstad with the Mighty Gust. Great for boss control, by the way. So for boss control, that's going to be really helpful too. Falstad will have to deal also with the Sundering that we see for Thrall. So if he actually is able to get a good side flank off and a nice move, then that could be a bit nasty as well. So he needs to be careful with this. Alright, so what's the top? We currently have even more attack coming in as Dryfast getting pressured. Has a bit of trouble against Misha and Rexa here. But it's all about the camps right now. I mean, we have a little bit of skirmishes, but it's not really any kind of real heavy pressure just yet. I think the bottom temple is where we're going to see a lot of that happen. But for the time being, Falstad is of course now the one to hold towards the top of the map, since he can then global down. And that should give them a lead. First of all, heavy pressure against the top fort if played correctly. And also at the bottom of the map is the opportunity to go for the objective itself. Falstad trying to go for Blade, actually. Yep, there's the flank, there's the spear, the root, and the kill. Nice coordination. And a quick kill against the bird. The bird is down, and yep, there we have that. Down at the bottom of the map. That's already where the channel is now coming in. Of course, this could have been the... I mean, the plan was totally different from this. The plan was to force a 4 versus 4, 4 versus 5 at the bottom of the map, get Falstad alone to the top side, get him some value, fly down, take control, just use that global properly. And now with Falstad eliminated, that was a huge issue. He's finally back, of course, now, so the death timers are still a bit low. But there's already a lot of shots taken by the blue team, and that is definitely giving them lead here. Sonya hasn't taken her 10 yet, just saying. So we could actually see Leap here. At least he's threatening it. And if you get a good Sundering into Leap, that's going to be nasty. Now, traditionally, you would, of course, talk about the Wrath of the Berserker here. But he's at least threatening to go into a more aggressive tool. And he goes for it! Leap is actually taken! It's going to be real interesting to see how Sonya is going to play around that. Top side, she gets the kill against Rexa. That's the first thing that happens. Nicely done. So full-on Leap value that we get from her. But a super aggressive stance now by Feel the Heat. They're definitely playing this a lot more aggressive than they did in the past. The team has come into his own. And for Season 2 of Division S, they seem to have big plans here. Getting the first kill against the Vikings here, the former Wind and Rain team, was already a good start. But of course, they need to bring the best of 5 series over the time. And they try to go for the boss now too. And they should be able to. Yeah, especially with Sonya getting chased by 3 heroes. Blade at the top is already saying, well, you can go for the boss. It's fine. It's totally fine. Yeah, they're currently down at the bottom of the map. And Falstad is, of course, going to be in just a moment. But not... Oh. Where's the gust when you need it? And there it is. Sundering 2. Can they take it? Sanctification. They steal it away. They actually steal it away. No! Oh, boss stolen. 3 kills against 4. All the work done by Feel the Heat. Frustrating situation to say the least for them. Yeah, they look good. Get the solo kill against Rexa top side, the temple at the bottom, all the momentum in their hands, and then this one is taken just a little bit too quickly. Bad spot for them. Very, very bad spot for them right now. And yeah, that cost them the boss. That cost them a few hit points on this one. Ooh, Sonya in the mid lane actually going down. Okay, Falstad and the boys going for a bit of a gank. Oriel could go for the resurrect though. Very likely is going to. And yep, there we have it. Oriel is going to resurrect her. Ult is on cooldown though, so they can't go for a turnaround even if they wanted to. And there we have it. 14 against 15 now. 4 kills against 4. 31 stacks for Falstad. 13 for Rexa on his level 4. And again, the aggression, but this time there's only 3 heroes plus Misha in play for the Vikings. Temples are activated at the top and the bottom of the map, so they could go for those, but the fight isn't just over yet. Oriel is again completing her level 4 talent. The Master of the Whip is in there. No talking Indiana Jones this time. Bot lane, Skok is there. Blade 2 trying to escape. A little bit of a flank attempt against him. Wit not gonna make that in time though. Nope, Junkrat moves away. Falstad and Rexa are topside starting to take down structures, and that's an easy destruction of the fort. The bird alone already doing a massive amount of work here, and still some battle in the middle as they're making a play for Skok. Ancestral keeps him alive. And here comes the stray from Bala. Falstad flies in too, Sundering, and the Reptile. As they're trying to go for the kill. Sonya is sitting at the bottom of the map though. 16 versus 16, closing in soon. Both teams looking at the next talent, and the red team hits it a bit sooner. But with a few shots, we have all of the forts eliminated. And it seems like they might get even a little bit more out of this. Top shots though could put the final deal onto the bottom fort too. It's a very even game. It's an incredibly even game right now. They are just neck right now. 4 kills against 4, level 16 versus 16. When you look at the structures on the map, it's pretty much identical. Another attempt to steal the camp away. There's the quick gust. They're going for it, and they're trying to take him down. Sanctification has been used. There's the kill against Thrall, the kill against Vala, the kill against X-Ray. 3 down, the camp taken, everything just falling apart, and the only thing that the blue team can think of is now... Yeah, for the red team, that's an absolute disaster. Losing everything here, 4 heroes down, and that is just absolutely heartbreaking. I mean, they took 2 camps now, the boss camp and the hard camp. Both got stolen away by the opponent. They lose heroes in the process too. The rage is real probably at this point, as we are going to see them just fall farther and farther behind now. They're nearly a level, well, not quite a level behind just yet, but it's going to get there. And we also have them 4 kills down. There's another one at the top that we could go for, as Wit is nearly locked down. Max Passion was already trying to fight him. The rest of the team started a rotation towards the top that they couldn't complete here yet. But this is getting a bit nasty. They look good. They were ahead. Then the boss attempt failed, and they go for the hard camp. That one failed too. It was dead even up to that point, but now the lead is there. The Vikings have it. And this is... Oh, this is a quick jump from Sonya as she makes it out, and the Riptire gets also taken apart. But damn, that could have been another brutal kill against Sonya. And that would have been really, really bad. It's already annoying as it is for Dino and the girls on the red team to make any kind of play here. When it comes to like stats alone, you just look over, it's like 37,000 for Vala. Damage output between Falstad and Junkrat is also pretty solid. Nice lockdown with Rhaegar and his level 16, so that's not bad. But yep, there we go. Another quick attempt. That's all the way happening. Yep, Misha. Misha's face checking. Misha is allowed to face check. Misha is one of the few that is absolutely okay with face checking stuff here. The early level 20 talent, I mean, again, it's like not quite a level lead, it's roughly there, but if you have the early level 20 over your opponent, the time window is just perfect for you. If that coincides with you being able to grab a temple or fight for a boss, which by the way is up in another 6 seconds, then that's the dream. We could even see a bit of a YOLO move from Feel the Heat trying to take, well actually, they can't go for a YOLO move on the boss. Not against Sanctification and against Falstad with the Mighty Gust. The only way they can make that play is if they get a kill previously. And I don't think they can do that without the engage from either Sundering or Sonya. And Sonya isn't there with them yet. Okay, there's also the Rexa Ultis. They're trying to force a fight. Blue team is going in and they take down Oriel. Can go for a Resurrect, but nope, not looking. Well, actually using it right now as we speak. Resurrected already, still alive. Whoa, backline, and still losing Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis down, and there's the chase as they're trying to go for Blade. Everybody's falling apart here, especially since Oriel doesn't go anywhere. That's the second kill against her. And yep, that spells trouble. Boss is up, they have level 20, but what do you want? They still have Sanctification, if worse comes to worse, and they can easily now go for the boss, can go for the temples. This is more or less a checkmate move that we currently see here. So yep, this is looking incredibly strong by them. Starting to move in, take the boss down, level 20 advantage. They can now rotate to the sides. They even make the play for Blade again. He's way too far out here, and he's gonna get caught too. Blade goes down. That's a staggered death on top of everything else. The temples are of course activated. They can go through the bottom of the map. They can go for the objective. Falstad, for example, could stay tight, but he just flew in, so he doesn't have the global cooldown anymore. But they want to end it bot side. With Sonya down for another 40 seconds, that's an opportunity right there. Without her, it would be a 5 versus 5 fight. They might have gone for the structure, for the temples instead. But right now, it seems like they're going to try and seal the deal and force the next game on an even ground on the map. 53 stacks for Falstad. Solid damage output right here. 51,000 currently in the damage numbers. Actually drawing even with Vala, as you can tell. Yeah, and they're going for it. That boss is still on 50% HP. Dino's trying to work it out as quickly as he can. They might be able to hold this. I gotta be honest, they might just be able to hold this if they don't lose a hero now. Sonya's back in another 10 seconds, and that boss is pretty much already dead in the waters. The problem is that Wit is about to fall. He barely gets out. Nice save there. Oriel with a great 20. And now they're trying to get the kill against Falstad. Sonya is back. Where's the leap when you need it? We need that leap, and Blade might just get it. There's a couple of opportunities right now of who he could aim for. But they defended the core, and that's the main thing. So as it turns out, the blue team, the Vikings, a little bit too greedy, a little bit too eager. Would have been the better play for them to go for the objective 2. They didn't do that, so now on the way back, they still have to try and make that play. But there's the quick Sonya jump, cleansed out by Rhaegar quite easily. Not a big problem for him. Falstad could still go over for a few shots on the temple. Same at the bottom of the map. That's where Mal'Ganis is currently sitting. And he is going to take that opponent's keep down. So this is actually starting to get a little bit annoying for the Vikings. They could be way farther ahead like this. They had their chances to make some plays there. Sonya, by the way, with the composite spear. So the extra range and also the armor. Farfly quiver, again, as we saw in game number 1. Even though it was on the opponent's side. Bottom keep is down. That's already an important touch. And the one in the middle likely going to be falling too. 12 kills against 4. But again, game is not necessarily over. They left this one since they realized it weren't enough shots to take the keep in the middle. So instead they're going to try and see if they can maybe set a fight up somewhere. With 20 versus 20, there's no talent advantages anymore. Mal'Ganis is back to business, and yeah. The interesting part, by the way, is that Rexxar has never even completed his level 4. He's just now about to get the extra armor for himself and Misha through the Hunter-Gatherer. And he really needs it too. So the survivability for Max Passion would be really nice, but up to this point, he never really completed the talent, which is kind of interesting. Forza then again is sitting at 60 stacks now. That is pretty sick for market. That's a pretty solid output. And he also went onto his level 20 epic mount. So now he has even more mobility on the map. And as long as they have some vision on the opponent, he's going to be fine with that. And he is pushing those 2 lanes aggressively. Taking those catapults out alone is already a big deal. But those are the lanes where you have catapults now pushing continuously. So the blue team is trying to just delay this for as long as they can to give the bird a little bit more time to get the pressure going. The red team feels they need to go for the attack. They can't just sit tight and defend the entire time against the global. That's a battle that they're going to lose in the long run. But Falstad is going to try and end this now with the help of the catapults. He's going to try and burn those minion waves out as quickly as he can. One catapult is already scratching the core shields. Rest of the team is trying to defend at the top. There's the quest completed for Rexxar. A bit more armor for him and Misha, but the top keep is under pressure. Falstad still attacking. Thrall actually has moved back to try and deal with the situation here, but the top keep is about to go down regardless, and that's another problem. So all of a sudden, we're talking 2 keeps down on each side. The bird flies in, tries for the gust, gets only the connection with 2 of them. Market attack by Dino. Might even have to barrel roll out here, but they go for X-Ray. He gets the shield through on 20, but he's not able to really do a whole lot here for the team. They're just trying to retreat now. It's a 5 versus 5 in a second, since Thrall is on his way over too. That would make it an even battle, but we have the keeps now down on both sides, with the exception of 1. This is close. This is actually really, really close here. So, let's have a quick look of how this is going to work out for them now. X-Ray and Wit, Dino, they're all moving over at this point. Blade is sitting tight, and here's the attack again. Wit is starting to move in, trying to get a little bit of damage on. Yeah, there's the quick attack. Move in, as we see Falstad pushing out quickly. Barrel roll saving him. Capturing the temple at the top would be a big deal, since that would most likely eliminate the last remaining keep on either side if you can. But especially with Falstad, you gotta be careful, and let's not forget, there's a boss on the move. And that one alone is gonna be a huge problem. If that one's taken, that's lights out. But Falstad always has the ability to fly to the core and try and set something up. If catapults, for example, make it over to the red team's core, he can always fly in and play around it. And for a fight around the boss, the blue team has the better heroic abilities. They have Sanctification. They have the Mighty Gust. And, well, he doesn't have Wind Tunnel, but still, Mighty Gust alone is going to be strong in this one. Yeah, there's the fight again. Drive has to be cautious. Here comes the leap, the kill attempt. Marker with a Gust. They're trying to isolate Sonya, but they can't get the kill yet. Blade is incredibly low. Can they get the kill? No! He actually gets away, but they are on the retreat, and Thrall is down. Resurrect immediately triggered. They need to. That's a setup for Junkrat to push him even farther back into the team, and it seems like we could see a second kill, but no, the shields come out, keep them alive. Sanctification on the ground already, as we have Wit going deep again with Mal'Ganis, but he's a little bit too deep and gets annihilated. Junkrat takes him down. Falstad with a flight over. They're trying to get the kills here. Falstad now at 81,000 against the 100,000 that we're seeing from Bala, but All Real now has also fallen, and Blade goes down too. They are absolutely taking them apart right now. go. That's another kill. That's Vala about to fall. And they are dropping everything. 5-man wipe as we have the blue team on their way to victory. They're moving to the right side of the map. The Vikings trying to crush it right here. The shields are falling. And that is game. Game number 2 taken by the blue team as Feel the Heat goes down in flames. Nicely done. 21-minute game on Sky Temple, and we are heading into the third map of the best of 5 with a 1-1 score between the two teams here in Division S. Game on, ladies! Game number 3. Volskaya Foundry is the map, and we have a tie in the series between the Vikings and Field Heat. Pretty solid setup for our first match here in Division S, so this is pretty awesome. We're starting the season off with a bang, and I like it! Vikings against Field Heat, again with a ban on ETC. So far the ban patterns have been pretty much identical. We had ETC, Zeratul, Deathwing, and Uther banned out in the first rotation. But it seems like we're going to break the pattern a little bit because the Vikings are hesitating on what they were trying to get rid of this time. So let's see what's happening here. Well, turns out that they're going to go for the Uther ban again regardless. Now, the first pick, first ban sites have changed. That's why things are a little bit different. And Mephisto also sneaks in, since this is Volskaya Foundry, and there's 2 maps where Marke played a lot of Mephisto. That's Infernal Shrines and Volskaya Foundry. So Feel the Heat adapts to that. Deathwing gets still banned out. Nobody wants to deal with him. No raid boss action in this game. And, well, let's see. What are we having as first pick for X-Rangers, boys? And let's be honest for just one moment, we have seen a lot of Oriel Vala right now, but there's the Zeratul pick. Dino gets his hero. Yeah, for sure one of the best Zeratul players that we currently have, but that also means that there's a lot of attention on you and a lot of people are very aware and gonna try and shut you down. So if you still can perform under all that pressure, that's the main question here. And yeah, performing under pressure can be a problem for people. Also, I've heard, don't have any personal experience with that, but ask your girlfriend. And yeah, talking about that, there's also someone else who wants to have a say in this.
Say hello to your sister for me.
Yeah, Leo is a naughty boy. And we haven't seen Leo today, so I'm a little bit confused. I want to have my Leo here, so what's happening? We need our little Skeleton King. And with Marke picking his Li Ming, he is at least back to his old shenanigans, so one of his preferred heroes. We have Skog on Malfurion. There's Johanna. Blaze is taken too. Is it a time for Leo, or are we gonna get Rexa again? Since Rexa on this map is of course also pretty great. Could still also see... I mean, frontline is gonna be important too, with Johanna also taken by Wit. Question is what Backhold is going to get. And first of all, we have Ana banned out. It's actually interesting. I mean, Ana would have also really worked well with the Vikings, but they decided to go into Malfurion instead. But let's go. What's the ban on the other side? Offlane maybe targeted? Is it a problem for them that Rexa is still open? Other offlaner still possible? Mal'Ganis, frontline. Now, Mal'Ganis has been an absolute staple throughout, I mean, last year, especially in the second part. He's been played all the time, one of the main tanks that we currently have in the scene. And the setups that he can generate, especially for some mage power and lockdowns from Malfurion, is of course awesome. So if you can get rid of him, then hell yeah. But there's still a couple of heroes that Backhold really likes. I mean, first of all, Tyrell can be played again. You have Garrosh still around. Let's wait now. Oh, and it is Tyrael, but we also have Chen now. Okay, so it's Panda time. 4max Passion. Gia hasn't taken a hero yet. Traditionally, I'd say that chances are we're gonna see Junkrat again, but now they're going up against Zeratul, so he might have different feelings about that. But normally, his Junkrat is one of the go-to heroes for him. And on this map, he's played that hero plenty. There's the old man. Hit him with a stick, baby. Hit him with a stick. And Driver goes for Greymane, the French player with a wolf. And last pick. Let's go. What is Gia gonna go for? They need a bit more damage. They have the Panda already in. Let's see. Chen actually trended on Twitter the other day. And I was really hyped about it. I was just like, oh my god, look at that. The panda gets some love on Twitter. I had like 1 million tweets or something. And then you click on it and it's a huge disappointment because it was just K-pop shit or so. So, yeah. Thrall gets taken. Gia on Thrall. Let's get the chain lightning in. And game number 3. It is a best of 5, not the final map, but it's definitely going to give one team quite a bit of momentum for the rest of the series. So, ladies and gentlemen, Division S continues. Let's jump into Volskaya Foundry. Game 3! The Vikings on the left side of Volskaya Foundry, our third map. Mark on Liming, Backhold on Tyrius, Skog on Malfurion, Max Passion on Chen, and Gia on Thrall. Towards the right side of the map, the Boomer, played by X-Ray, yeah? Deckard Kane is ready to dingle once again. Hit him with a stick, baby, and hit him hard. Blade is currently playing Blaze. We have Wit on Johanna, Dainu on Zeratul, and Dryfa on Graven. So let's go. The best of 5 continuing with map 3 and Zeratul. That's the one hero that we're going to have quite a bit of look for. Ooh, look at that. All of a sudden, here comes Thrall with a Trash Lightning. And again, as I explained already in some of the previous games, when Thrall was picked, traditionally in a normal game, you want to always go for Echo of Elements. But if Thrall can be part of the 4-man in the early rotation and you have a triple front line, then there is the option to go into Trash Lightning. And if you play your cards right, that means a lot of damage in the late game.
First blood
Is taken though by Li Ming as we have a quick kill against Blaze. So not really a great start for the red team. But yeah, now that Thrall is actually part of the 4-man, it's great for him because Max Passion is going to take the solo lane, so Thrall can rotate with the team, which means he has a lot more options to get early stacks in. He's already sitting at 3, and around the objective on this map, you have a lot of opportunities to continue with the stacking process. So let's see if Gia can actually pull that off. Because that damage on Thrall is going to be incredible if he's able to complete that in a reasonable fashion. Which is, again, one of the reasons why you only see that talent picked every now and then when you have a really good setup for it. And I already went a little bit over what those setups include. Maps where you sometimes see it are Volskaya Foundry and Battlefield of Eternity. 1 minute into the game, the item camps spawn, and the teams usually go for those immediately, which has the added benefit that the camp spawns again when the first objective is being fought over, so you have the opportunity to go for a second one. Dainu wants a little bit more mobility on his Zeratul in the long run. For now, he's going into the cleave build here, though, but level 7 is going to be important for him. And let's see. Over there, the setup. The old man with a lockdown attempt. Wit is on the run, and Wit goes down. Li Ming survives as Market barely makes it out of the fight, but it's still 2 kills against 0, and they're working on kill number 3 as Blade is getting attacked again. Here's the level 4 talents now for both of the teams. Everybody's still a bit low. As we walk away from the battle, we have 1 kill for the Vikings and 0 for Feel the Heat. It's a bit of a tricky spot. Not really the start into the game that they wanted here. And again, this is about momentum. You want to make sure that you are victorious right here so that you can then later on get the quick kill in against your opponent. But as it happens, a bit of an experience lead, which can mean a lot. I mean, experience leads, usually when they're just this small, they don't make a big difference, right? But if it means you get the earlier level 7 talent over your opponent during an objective phase, that makes it really tough for the opponent's team to actually fight for it. So they normally have to move away from the objective for a little bit, can maybe hang around with a hero or 2 and poke while the rest is aiming to get experience to draw even in talents. So now this might be exactly the situation that we can observe here later on. Thrall again with another stack. He's sitting at 6 already, so Gia is actually doing pretty well. 6 stacks, 4 Trash Lightning, 3 minutes in. It's not bad. Especially since we didn't have a prolonged fight over the objective yet, where normally a lot of the stacks that he's going to get on that level 1 talent are going to come in. So, well, let's see. Its damage output should actually reflect that already, even though it's not really a whole lot. But yes, he's sitting at 9,000. Easily top damage for him. And he gets another couple of stacks through. He's actually sitting at 9. Another quick attack here, as first of all we have items on the ground. It's a 4 versus 4. The Panda jumps out. Chen, not impressed by anything here, just keeps drinking. And Wit is pushing it in deep, but we already have the towers taking aim at them as they're diving a little bit too far into all of this. So now the camp is taken over, 50% on the progress bar against the 9. Level 7 talents on both sides, which gives us obviously Calamity. And we have now the Seeker in the dark after the Psionic Strength. So Zeratul is gonna go for some action here. Dino, again, one of the best Zeratul players that we currently have in Europe, but he still has to prove that. It's a little bit of a thing that we had with Tai in the past too. If you're known for a hero where you're exceptionally good at, everybody is just having your eyes on you, and it's gonna make it much harder for you to actually pull the plays off. And at the same time, it also puts more pressure onto you because you feel the need to perform. And that's something that we could see from him here now too, where he takes maybe some risks that he usually wouldn't take. So time will tell. But there's the advantage for the blue team. Here comes the lockdown attempt. Malfurion is in trouble, gets attacked right away. Skog is about to go out. Dino goes in, and Zeratul gets the kill right there. Well played by him, but Zeratul and Greymane both fall. Tyrael has also been eliminated. It's the 3 versus 3 now on the map, but the Panda is jumping in there, trying to get the kill against Blade and against Wit. All of them are pretty low, and that's the Protector in the hands of the Vikings. Mission accomplished, at least for now. They get Protector number 1, 4 kills against 2 for now. We're currently looking also at 13 stacks for Thrall and a completed level 4 quests. Of course, Ancestral Wrath on level 7. Nothing else really to take there. Follow through is a little bit of a noob trap on that talent here, at least on this level. And, well, let's be honest, there's nothing else to take. At least when you're playing in a competitive setup. 18 stacks right now. 18,000 damage for Thrall, highlighting once again that Gia has done an amazing job when it comes to getting quest stacks this early in the game. And honestly, this is going to be a big problem for Feel the Heat. If he can continue that in any fashion and complete that talent, then they are going to be in trouble. And he's on 13 already. After 5 minutes, that is pretty impressive. That's very impressive. So here come the level 10 abilities, and they're slightly quicker for the red team. Shouldn't really make a big difference. Nah, both now on 10. That's first of all the Might of the Nerazim and also the Cursed Bullet now. Sanctification, Earthquake, the Wave of Force. No big surprises here yet. For the Panda, I guess we're going to see the triple. And then for the old man, the question, do we see Fight Sustain or instead trying to go for the Silence attempt against Zeratul? And that's exactly what we have. Twilight Dream. Trying to drop Zeratul whenever he gets a little bit too close. And the Panda's actually threatening the Wandering Keg here. Yeah, it's always a tricky talent. Ever since Blizzard made some adjustments to that, Wandering Keg has a little bit of a wah-wah characteristic to it. But if you get the isolation kill, then of course you're going in a good spot. But it's definitely a lot trickier now than it was in the past. Whew. We have the Falling Sword Ladies! And they're going in deep to try and invade the camp here. They want the item. They're trying to steal it away. Max Passion is there. Goes for the triple Panda attempt. Backward gets locked down. Sanctification on the ground as the fight is starting to pop up right here. The camp being fought over. The bunker on the ground. Greymane dead. The backline in trouble as the triple Panda goes for another kill attempt against Zeratul this time. But they take Blaze first and are now trying to go for Jojo too. Falling Sword as Wit is able to make it out. The old man, on the other hand, he's caught on the wrong side of the battle. Yeah, he is heavily confused on where to go. Has the suicide now. Obviously, the idea of not killing him is to delay his death so that it's a staggered death and the opponent is at a numeric disadvantage for longer. But that's why he suicided into the towers, trying to kill himself as quickly as he possibly can. 15 stacks now for Thrall. And yeah, it is a pretty nasty setup right now. I mean, this is starting to look extremely good for the blue team. 7 kills against 2, and that failed attempt now empowers them to go for an invade themselves. But they might have gone a little bit too deep here. There's the attack against them again. Locked down, Wit in trouble. Skog 2, he's on the run, and a kill against Malfurion. But the tank is dead as well. Tyrael falls. That's potential trade value, but not enough to justify the activation here, I'd argue. Another attempt here as Dino's jumping all over the place. Gets a bit more damage in against Gia. 8 kills against 4. 13 against, well, pretty much 13. So, yeah, we have a game on our hands. Nice. A lot of action in this game now. 30,000 by Thrall. 24,000 for Greymane. Another attempt to lock someone down with Deckard Kane, but Gia dodges out on it. Gets the damage in against Blade, works the damage in quite well here and dodges the stun too. Blade is low, but Dino goes in for the kill and he gets it! Sick kill by Zeratul. Dino jumping all over the place and taking no prisoners here. His Zeratul was banned out multiple times now, and there's a reason for that. Goes in, shows no mercy. Chen is down 2, and baby, we're looking at a comeback here. Absolutely brutal. Jumping in, getting the kills, getting the experience. 8 against 6 now. And we're looking also at a defense top side before the objective is focused on again. The fountain is down, so there's a disadvantage for the red team. But they are heavily fighting back into this now. And Wit is taking over the position. Tries to make sure that they're going to get some value on the objective itself. But yeah, Dino again all over the place with this. Jumps left, right, goes for the Might of Nerazim, and goes for another quick attack against Thrall and finally gets the kill in. Now, of course, he's now starting to move bot side for the experience. They need to make sure that they're not falling behind here, but the fight at the top is now centered around this port camp. As we have the blue team trying to grab the healing thingy, and they're going to get it. Beacon, thank you, Beacon, exactly. So, yep, nicely done. And the attack towards the top with 70 points on the progress bar. It's going to be one big fight, and the blue team, they have to deliver. Wit is low, and there's no fountain. That's the big problem for them. So Wit needs to be healed. Actually, at this point, he's in trouble since everybody starts to make a bit of a play for him. Chen is sitting at 20 stacks for the Trash Lightning. Here's the Triple Pandas that's starting to move back. Wit is in trouble, but there's the sleep. Stay a while and get wrecked. But, well, they're not getting wrecked just yet. Instead, it might be Blade who falls, but still alive for now. Sanctification on the ground. The silence came through. Zeratul gets away. And that's a lot of resources that were just used by the blue team just to feel the heat back a little bit. Didn't get a lot out of this. And there's 14 points against 81. This fight is not over by any means. A lot of heroics have been traded. But they're going for it again. They make the play for the Panda. Max Passion is on the run, and he's dead. That Panda got a little bit too greedy. Stun attempt by Blade. Barely dodged, but dodged nonetheless. And now the attack again against Thrall, who's currently sitting on 22 stacks. 8 missing until the quest completion, but already dropping the numbers. And they can go to the top to try and go for the Protector here. 8 kills against 7 at this point. Yep, looking strong. Wit is moving in from the point. 40,000 damage for Thrall already. 31,000. Here comes the jump. And Malfurion gets wrecked. No chance for him. The immediate move in from the side, especially, of course, the falling sword from Johanna just catching him off guard. Now they go for Thrall. They take him down too. Backhole is also about to get dropped. That's a triple kill right there. They even try to go for Marker, but Dino this time can't go in for the last hit. But that will seal the Protector fight for sure. The only one to not die in this game yet is Marker. He didn't die once, but he is just not in a position where he can turn those fights around by any means. 16 against 50 now. There's the Protector. Aggression around the bottom of the map. They try to boost that advantage by grabbing the opponent's items now too. Try and get farther ahead. That's exactly what they're trying to do here. Run with the momentum, run with the advantage that they have. Pressure at the bot lane, pressure in the middle, pressure at the top. They're trying to just build so much momentum that there is no way for the blue team to recover anymore. Again, Dino? He's thinking about it. He is thinking about it. Didn't activate the Might of Nerazim until the last moment. Was thinking like, well, do I try to go for Li Ming, yes or no? And decided to jump away from it. Not a guaranteed kill, and very likely would have ended with his own death. So in this case, he just moves back. 8 kills against 10. It started really, really tricky for the red team. It was a problem. It didn't look too great, but now they are starting to look way, way better. Now, of course, with this Protector... Another kill by Zeratul. Dino again just crushing. We can already pretty much guarantee that in the next game we're going to have Zeratul banned out against him once more. It's a little bit like with Tracer and DAB back then. It was always the question, can we deal with this Tracer? And teams would usually allow him to play Tracer once in a series, just to check, just to see what they can do, and then quickly decide, yeah, that was a dumb idea, let's not do that again. But in this case, Zeratul is taken. They get Zeratul, but then the counter-attack. The old man with a lockdown. The seal of approval right here as Malfurion and Tyrael both get taken apart. That's a triple kill as Liming has fallen previously to Zeratul. So now Maka also with a few deaths on the scorecard. But the fight is still ongoing. It's a 4 versus 3 right now. And the red team, they want another victory. They're currently looking to take the Panda down again. The triple Pandas have already been activated. 13 kills against 9. And what a setup. Yep, there's another camp on the map. And again, as said before, on this map, if you are ahead, try and control those camps. Try and control the items. Give yourself an advantage heading into the next objective, heading into the next team fight, and items will do that for you. So always try to steal those. This is exactly what they're currently doing here. You look at the damage numbers and you see that Thrall is at 54,000 pretty much. This is the beauty of having a Trash Lightning that stacks quickly. You don't get that on many maps. You don't get that with many team compositions. But on this map and on Battlefield of Eternity, if you have him in the 4-man, you can make that play if you have a decent Thrall in your team. That's exactly what we see here. Now we have level 20 and we're actually seeing Heaven's Fury being picked now too. So cooldown reduction is going to come in. Twilight falls. There's the cooldown reduction already. They're making the heavy engagement. There's no level 20 on the side of the blue team and they already lose Chen. 1 down. And that's a problem. The immediate aggression. You grab level 20, you want to force a fight. And that's exactly what they did. They're not wasting a second here. Wit in this case, going straight down towards the bottom and says like, well, let's just push this, not even wait for the minion wave, take the last fort down so that we can go for the objective too. Yeah, even jumps in again, and why not? Cooldown reduction, as you can see, is kicking in very, very heavily with this. So, yeah, he's pretty happy with that setup and is using it to its fullest extent. Johanna becomes a bunny once that she gets the level 20 upgrade for her falling sword. And now they of course have also, besides that, the fortified bunker. We're having Twilight Falls, which is pretty nasty for Dino too, and they're pushing aggressively for the keep even before the objective is announced. And Dino with a cleave on level 1 and level 16 is jumping in the entire time, gets a bit of poke out and moves back out. There's Thrall in trouble, 1 stack missing for the completed Trash Lightning. They're trying to go in. There comes the bunker, the sleep attempt. Can they get the kill? They're trying. Fall. Malfurion is down. Again, there's another kill against Liming this time. They're cleaning house. They're taking them apart one by one, but Driver might have gone a little bit too deep. And they might lose more than this. There's an attack against Tyrael, but he has the shield, so he survives a little bit longer. Dino is on the cleanup job, so he is attempting to get them. And he actually gets Thrall. Nicely done by him. And all of a sudden, we're looking at 17 kills to 10. The objective at the bottom of the map has also been activated. Wit on Johanna is just jumping all over the place here the entire time. It's a little bit like Yunara. Hobbity, 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 hop. And Max Passion is now also on the move, trying to run. And can he actually get away from this one? I don't think so, but he's going to try. Can he escape? And... nope. Not happening. Not happening. Chen goes down 2. That's 18 kills against 10. The old man goes straight in for the objectives, like it's time to end the game here. And that's of course what they're going to try and do. Top fort though is still going to fall on the red team side. I mean, again, the camp is pushing in. And Blade might have gone a bit too deep here. If they can actually kill Blade, that would be a good step to make a defense happen, because that's an annoying death. That's a lot of time that's going to be lost here. Yeah, bunker is in. Johanna's coming in too. Blade is dead. Can they get the counter kill? They're trying for it. And here comes Dino again, and he comes in again with another big kill. Gets it easily. Goes for Malfurion. Takes him down 2. Insane setup here again by Dino. I mean, honestly, this guy on Zeratul is just absolutely crazy. Comes in and rips them apart. He died 2 times in the game, but he got kill after kill after kill, especially in the late game when he had all of his talents finally in. The level 20 helping him even more with that. Gets another one easily. He's at 75,000 fucking damage. He's top damage in the game on Zeratul. He's absolutely crushing them here. Dino is murdering them. But he might have jumped in a bit too deep. Can they save him? I mean, Deckard Cain has by now taken the protector, so now they're going in with that. But holy shit, that game with jumping around again, getting away from this one. They're going for the kill against Tyrael. But they shouldn't YOLO around too much. I mean, at the end of the day, you still want to end the game. 2 keeps down is a nice advantage, but you shouldn't meme too much. There's always a chance of your opponent pulling off a 6.5 out of 10 moment. Currently, they're trying to escort a few of those catapults in, but again, you need to be cautious. Of course, the problem is that Greymane is still dead, and that Blaze has to take care of the top lane, so it seems like this Protector is not going to get as much as they were hoping for. We might actually look at a 4th Protector here after all. So, yep, they're starting to go straight for that. Wall has to be taken down, and that one's going to be easy. There's a little bit of damage against the core shields with catapults, but they're not going to finish the game here. Not yet. 21 kills against 12. Need to save the targets here, though. Zeratul is back to business. Zeratul already starting to move in. Don't tell me he's going to get the kill here. No way. No way. Skog already dropping the roots. Laying down the lawn here, saying like, nope, you're not going to get anywhere close to me. But Zeratul is back to business. He goes in and just wrecks them, and Living is down 2. They pick up the kills wherever they want them. It's insane. Another triple kill. 93,000 now by Zeratul. Someone stop him, please. It's getting crazy here. Chen is down, Bakul on the run. The old man is hitting the core with a stick right now as they're still trying to make the kill happen over here. Dino comes in once, twice, bam, takes another one down. And the core is falling too. What a setup. That is game, and that's the lead for Feel the Heat against the Vikings. GG, and well played on the Skya Foundry. Game number 4, everybody! Garden of Terror, also known as Tomb of the Garden Curse, is being played as our 4th map, and well, it could in theory also be our last map here. The map a bit of a combo between Tomb of the Spider Queen and Cursed Hollow these days. But yeah, who thinks that we're actually going to see Zeratul banned? Oh my god, shocker! Zeratul actually gets banned here! Who would have thought?
Surprise, motherfucker!
Unbelievable, I know. Zeratul banned? Seriously? After the last game and the performance that he had there? Yeah, didn't think that would happen. But we still have Deathwing and also Uther eliminated, so both of them are currently being dropped in ETC too. But honestly, Dino just ripped them a new one. I mean, holy hell. That guy went in the late game in particular, when he had all of his spells together and the build completed. He just dominated. I think he ended the game with 97,000 damage, easily top damage in the game. So now we're heading into the fourth map, which could be the last one. But yeah, Skog already with the Junkrat first pick here for them. But let's see if this is gonna change things a bit. This is a huge map regardless, and so Globals again could be a real powerful tool for both of the teams here. We've seen Falstad previously in 2 games. This might be another good map for him. Yeah, taken right away. The Bird, Dino, wants to play him again, and X-Ray is now looking towards Malfurion once more. With our little setup here. Let's see what else we're gonna get. Right now... I mean, it's honestly going to become a little bit tricky here for this. When it comes to the picks that we've seen in the previous maps, Johanna was fought over quite heavily. We've seen a little bit more there too. Garrosh this time and Dehaka. So, yep, we're actually going to have more action from them on a global perspective to try and counter Falstad. Then Bakul gets his Garrosh set up. And what else is going to come through? We're currently looking at bans. And, I mean, I expected someone to actually grab Vala. I'm not quite sure if she's still going to be banned out here. Now that we have Falstad in play. Mages are, of course, still on the board. And Genji gets even banned out. Falstad, obviously, when you have Genji against him, quite annoying. I wonder if one of the teams would actually go into a bit of an avatar setup originally. But it doesn't seem that that's going to be the case. This is still a huge map, but you have to see how you can play around that. For now... what else are we gonna get? We still need a little bit more damage on the side of Feel the Heat. They have no offlaner yet. Oh, Zul! We saw him recently just once. And that was actually the big question in Division 1. If we're gonna see him a little bit more in Division S now too. If Zul is actually back. And they're gonna try and play that now against the Vikings. Which is of course a very, very different team to play a hero like Zul against. But the wave clear that he adds can help you with those rotations. Now, Thrall is taking 2, which means that likely we're going to see another main tank. So a triple frontline with Falstad as the main damage dealer, and then Thrall and Zul chipping in on top of that too. Interesting, to say the least. Greymane is also now claimed. And for the last pick, we still need a support, and it's Rhaegar again. Good for the camps on the map, of course, so little doggy can perform there. And what's the last pick for Dryfa? Wit is actually on Zul. Wit is a tank player, so they might play Zul in a tank position. Then immediately the question becomes, is there going to be a second support of some kind going to come in? Are they just going to add another range damage? Or how are they going to play this? It's definitely a bit out there. It's heavily favoring wave clear now, what they're currently trying to pull off. But last pick for Garden of Terror is Jaina. Jaina for the burst damage, Bone Prison into burst damage, Thrall lockdown, Malfurion lockdown, a lot of still quick burst with the AoE on Jaina. Let's go to game number 4 and see if the Heat can take it and win this series with a 3-1 against the Vikings at the first playday of Division S. Game on! Game number 4, the Zul main tank. North America says hello in game number 4. On the left side, we currently have Skog on Junkrat, Berghult on Garrosh, Muck on Greymane, Gia completing the Wolfpack setup with Rhaegar, and Max Passion on De Haka. Yeah, they need to win this one. If they want to win the series, they need to take 2 in a row now, but of course Feel the Heat has something to say. They want to make sure that this is the last map that's going to be played in this series with X-Ray and Malfurion, Wit on the main tank Zul, Blade again on Thrall, we have Dino on Falstad, and Dryfa on Jaina. Alrighty, let's see if they can make a 3-1 happen here. It's either way pretty impressive, to be honest. The Swedes have kind of reigned supreme for a long time in, I want to say, Division S. Not necessarily always the team that wins the entire thing, but they have always been some of the main contenders here. And this is a pretty nice setup for the season for Feel the Heat. Starting things off with 2 map wins already. Even if they don't win the series, this is a really good start. But if they are able to take the series itself, that would be fantastic. But right now the problem is that Blade at the bot lane gets taken down. I did not see this one coming. Nope. There was just a bit too much of a rotation, and then Berghult is once again showing his skills on Garrosh. So yeah, nicely played by him. As the attack against Gia's Dino is starting to poke a little bit in the middle of the map. Wit is currently doing his Zul things. It's kind of nice to have him back, even though it's not really a hero that I personally have strong feelings about. The good old days of Alex the Pro G with a roaming Zul, trying to get kills and flanking in with him with a Bone Prison, are kind of special in HGC, but it was more so a meme tool for Storm League. In this case, though, the rotation bot side is something that Garrosh didn't see coming, and the favor is returned. Thrall came in, brought a couple of friends, and Garrosh was down too, so a kill for a kill. Well, Blake gets deleted early on, respawns, and then goes down to punish his punishers. And there we go. With that, we have now Max Passion starting to jump towards the top. The global, of course, going to be important here. Blade is a little bit out there. You need to be careful, my friends. Very, very careful with that. That could quickly backfire if you go that deep. So, yep, let's see. Currently, the boys are still sitting tight over here, and Zul is starting to take the camps. Alright, so focusing on the camps is obviously going to be heavily important here. And if you have also now Zul that helps you with that, on the other side we have Rhaegar and Greymane to do the same job. So the first seed is spawning. And in case that you're not really all that familiar with that map yet, after the what's it called? The remaking of the map. I mean, it's been there for a while, but pretty much it works like Cursed Hollow now. There's seeds spawning on the map, you collect them, you collect 3, and then you get the objective moving in your favor. And in this case, this is just like seeds on the map that then grow, and you get like on Tomb of the Spider Queen, you get just a couple of terror spawning on every single lane. That's pretty much that. Nothing really too crazy. It's a little bit of a weird setup. It felt a bit like Blizzard is kinda running out of ideas on how to make the map balanced and a little bit better compared to the previous versions, and then just decided, you know what, we just combine 2 other maps into one, and that's what we're going to do with this. And that's going to be enough for now. So that's a little bit what it feels like. There's a big, okay, attack towards the top, and nope, Deaka, I'm sorry, but that's going to be likely the end of Max Passion. Don't tell me. Even 3 can't take him down. The unkillable. Yeah, that one, that's that. So the Haka gets ganged, but is actually able to walk away. First seat ended up in the hands of the blue team. That's a good lockdown, and that's a kill. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. No problem whatsoever. They come in, they get the lockdown with the Wolf, they get the quest completion for Blade, and that's a kill right there. Now they're also on Dainu, who is waiting for the barrel roll. Oh, and gets the cooldown. And the last moment, the tongue, the drag, the jump, the kill. Falls dead after all. And the Haka burrowing over, trying to get another lockdown against Blade. Blade, the throws, they're real, but he survives. Jaina came in and was trying to at least push a bit more damage onto them. But there's another seed that is already getting gathered. And successfully, I might add. Well, not yet. They actually got the interrupt. They're trying again, though. But there's the Jack. Malfurion in trouble. X-Ray trying to get out. Does not fall yet, but Garrosh at the front is receiving a lot of damage, but is also trying to get into position for another throw. Falser comes in from the side, gets thrown out immediately. Max Pash is now the one who's pretty low. The entire blue team is starting to run into trouble, with Maka included. And Dainu barrel rolls away once more. Greymane is down, Malfurion is dead. That's the kill against Jaina. There is just death and carnage everywhere. Zul dies. Junkrat dies too. Like, everybody's dead and dying. It's a bloodbath over here. Another drag connect, this time against Blade, and it looks like Thrall is also gonna fall. Easy kill after we've seen Garrosh go in again. What a fight and what a game. 6 kills against 4. What the hell is happening here? This is crazy. Now 2 seeds already taken against 0. But damn, what an incredible battle right here. That was more than a bit weird. Up to the top, Driver is, well, sitting tight on the lane. Let's just say he's just trying to recover from the beating that they got there in the middle. But obviously also playing this safe since they don't know where all the heroes are. So still staying on the mount and in experience range to ensure that there is no gank that takes him down. The build on Zul, by the way, as you would already expect, with the Grim Scythe on level 4 for the cooler reduction, the Harvest Vitality. So it's just trying to go for the sustainable teamfight build there. 15 stacks on false stats, not too bad either. Oh, the Trolling Thunder, by the way, on level 1 for Thrall. Didn't even realize that. So the passive is obviously quite nice. Able to get the additional chain lightning bounces here from him. But yep, there we go. So let's see if Thrall can actually get some value out of this. But Blade is so far actually sitting pretty tight there. I mean, he was a little bit out and had a couple of moments that were like, rather meh. Died twice already, venturing out first of all at the beginning of the map into that gank that came his way, and then later on a bit aggressive and got caught once. But so far, they are still doing fairly okay. But now it's that... Yeah, that play right there, the kill! Ancestral keeps Garrosh in, but what a nice setup from him against Malfurion. He did not see that coming at all. And now another attempt to go for the first objective here. The Taros could spawn any second now for the Vikings as they go for seed number 3. And without Malfurion, I don't really think anybody can stop them here, to be honest. So now 10,000 damage for Junkrat, 11,000 for Falstad. Sitting right there. Big hit at the top to try and get the camp. But at the bottom of the map, that's already where the pressure is. The seeds are in, and here we go. First fort is going to be wrecked. Easy peasy. And in the middle of the map, they're setting up another attack. Backhold is sitting at the side. Wants to go for the bush attack, the little trap that he sets up here. In the middle of the map, the defense has so far taken out one of the Taros. The one at the top with the help of Max Passion is likely going to get another fort eliminated. Well, maybe not eliminated, but they're at least going to get the HP down quite significantly. Problem is that there are no minion waves coming in to help out since the camp has pushed the top left a little bit too heavily. So all of the minions are currently sitting right there. But still, they got the value at the bot side, open up the entire wall too, so that really helps. And the rest of the team is moving out. 7 kills against 4 now. 20 stacks for Falstad. And there's a couple of attempts that they have at setting up a trap here. It didn't really work out thus far, but Backhold and his boys are always waiting with Garrosh in the shadows to see if they can help out. Indomitable gets used as the wolf comes out, but that means he gets caught by the root a second later. Of course, Rhaegar has the cleanse ready for exactly that occasion. Another lockdown. Backhold comes in, goes for the throw, but this time he wanted too much. Down goes Garrosh. 7 against 5 kills. Tranquility even being used by X-Ray. We have 13 as a talent advantage for the blue team, but that doesn't really help you in a situation like this. Max Passion already gets pinged, as they want to make sure that he moves out. There's a lockdown. Blade waits for a long time before he goes for the root. There's the next one, and they actually get out. Without Garrosh, they shouldn't really take the fight, though. But Falstad is bot side. Falstad is at the bottom of the map. Has obviously also, again, taken Boomerang. Again, you kind of have to. Best talent on that tier for sure, and it really helps also with his output for his level 1, which now is sitting at 26 stacks. And, well, there's the beauty. Burn those backline minions away immediately. With a Giant Killer coming in, level 13 for him. Sitting at 27 stacks now. 3 more stacks, and he has his activatable ready. Backhold again with a flank, but Blade saw it coming this time. Yeah, he got caught a few times, but at this point he is a bit more map aware when it comes to that and doesn't venture out that deep anymore. And is moving away. So looking at the damage numbers also, now they're being a little bit deeper. Still the battle between Thrall and Junkrat. 15,000 damage against 14k. Oh, yeah, there's, dude, like, the Lig is, I mean, I'm fine with the Lig, but you have to be a bit careful here. He needs some assistance, and he needs it quickly, but it was a good dodge on the Bone Prison, and they didn't really coordinate the lockdown too well, because they didn't stagger the Bone Prison and the root on Malfurion, so it did not quite work out. Junkrat and Falstad are both at the bottom of the map, making this a 4 versus 4 battle. With the lockdown over here, Marker on Greymane in trouble, they're hunting him, but there's at least the Ancestral. Oh, Dainu! Yeah, that was a little bit of a fail. Unfortunate. Went in, tried to get the Gust isolation so that they could take Greymane down, but instead he just pushes him away with the rest of the team and saves him. Again, small mistake by him, obviously a bit of the heat of the battle move, didn't quite work out as intended. The idea wasn't a bad one, and after the plays that he pulled off on Zeratul in the previous games, he can definitely have a bit of a fail there. But yeah, that was a nice attempt to get some isolation, a bit of safety for himself of course too, but it didn't quite work out, so that Gust not really working in their favor. They're still trying to take the position for the point though. Here comes the Haka from the back, misses the drag, so that's not a connect. And they're trying to turn it around against him. Garrosh again with the delivery. Jaina has no ice block and goes down. Jaina goes down. The counter kill against Garrosh makes it a 4 versus 4. Max Passion way out. And this time he has no burrow available. Gets taken right away. Marke is also low, and Dainu comes in and says, well, I might have saved you a few seconds ago, but now you're mine. Goes in and takes him down. No problem. 16 talents also soon gonna be there. Blade is actually hunting down Junkrat a little bit more. Didn't get him there yet either. Down to the bottom of the map. Wit is still making his play. 16 talents give us in this case the Alpha Wolf. So the pressure against Garrosh and the Haka is going to be bigger. Oh, and by the way, I was memeing earlier too. Falstad obviously didn't need 13 stacks to complete his quest. He needed, he didn't need 3, he needed 13. 40 is the cutoff point, not 30. Yeah, 30 would be the dream. Falstad players across the Nexus would be very happy with that. It's like, oh, Blizzard, didn't you hear? Khaldor made a balance change. You only need 30 stacks now. Nah, not quite. But now he's getting close. He needs 5 more now. And this time I'm actually sure. Yeah, cast the math on stream. You know how that goes, right? So, well, 16 versus 16 talents. 1 seed versus 1. The Haka at the bottom of the map. The Global is trying to push it out a little bit. Uh-oh, over here, though. Marke nearly falling before the fight even starts. But the Haka, if they really want to fight this, needs to come in quickly. But there comes the Sundering and the Trolling Thunder kill as Thrall comes in with the Chain Lightning. Backhold is also down. That's 2 heroes eliminated, and the Haka sits still at the bottom of the map and is like, boys, are you kidding me? I'm not going to help that out. Nope, I'm going to stay down here. I'm going to do my thing. So that's the 2nd seed for them. Putting them in a position where they could take the objective in the next one. They're starting to move straight through the top. And so far, the lineup here is actually working out. The lockdown with Malfurion's Root, Zul's Bone Prism, and Falstad's, Falstad's Gust, but more so Thrall's Frostwolf, is actually quite strong for them now. The Bird takes all the minions at the bottom, so that's great for Dainu. There's a lot of minion stacks that he's going to get here for his level 1, and he pretty much, actually completes his quest. 13 minutes in. It's not bad, by any means. 29,000 damage for Thrall. 28 for Junkrat. Big differences, of course, the siege damage that Junkrat still provides. with 99,000. He is crushing that number. Zul is the only one who's able to keep up. Talking Zul, he might be in a bit of trouble. Well, the Haka comes in with the drag, but they need a bit more than that. Here's the Riptire, and there's the kill. Thrall is down. Yep, Green Jesus eliminated. As he's trying to part the opponent's team, he's getting taken down by the Riptire. Junkrat jumps out, they take the camp, and it's seed time. So the third seed is not going to come in for Field Heat. We're actually looking at a 2-2 setup in just a few seconds, which means that later on, the next seed will be the deciding factor over which team is going to grab the second objective. Rhaegar is the only one in this game, by the way, that hasn't died yet. And let's see what else. Yeah, they're trying to get the kill against Junkrat in. I'm not sure if they're going to get this. I would actually guess no. Yeah, Skok jumps out. Doesn't have a problem with that. Mid lane is pressuring a little bit. Siege Giants are doing some work here. Best outcome. Oh, the bird! The bird! The taunt! The kill! Dainu down. Nice. Berkult with some seriously solid plays. Like, his Garrosh is incredibly annoying for the opponent. And again, same play. You have a slight advantage, you go for the aggression. You have a numeric advantage, boom, you take the fort down. You work a little bit on the wall in the middle of the map too. The Haka pushes the bottom out, forces a response, in this case from Thrall and Zul. But they are playing this absolutely perfectly when it comes to that. This is something where if you're playing in an amateur league, you really have to incorporate in your own play. You don't always have the same coordination, but if you are ahead, take advantage of it. And that's what they're trying to do here. They're trying to get the kill against Wit, and they barely miss out on it. But it's 19.5 versus 19.5. Look at this, 10 kills against 10. This is game 4. This could be the last one. The Vikings are with the back to the wall now. They need to pull something off here if they really want to have want to be victorious. We're looking towards the top seed now, and this is going to be the important one. Fountain in the middle allows the blue team to go for a quick pre-tap. And the Haka is still pushing this in against the bottom keep. And guys, this is gonna hurt. And Falster doesn't really know, do I have to join the fight already? Seed is up. Do I help out down here? Because this is a problem. That keep is going to take some damage. It's likely not going to fall, but still. That, on the other hand, is nice. Oh, Junkrat denies it. Yeah, the poke again. 20 talents are ready for both sides. There's the wind tunnel already. Dainu a little bit early on that. Indomitable being used as backhold, saves himself for now. Thrall has not taken a talent yet. Here comes the 20 for Greymane. The Hunter's blunderbuss is in, and they're all still fighting over this one. And the bot lane is continuing to pressure. There's another catapult coming in for the blue team. The position that they have, they're still trying to take the Siege Giants here too, and why wouldn't they? They're sitting right next to them. Even going for the next one. Wit is just wailing away with a scythe here. Here comes the setup against Garrosh. He's in trouble, and the Ancestral is just too late. It's just too late, and that's the kill, and that should be the objective for Feel the Heat. They're gonna grab this one, for sure. Seed is about to be gathered, bottom of the map. Yes, more pressure against the keep with the catapult taking aim. It could in theory fall, but once they claim the objective, that should push the lane out without any trouble. And now we have the top lane, and that's a problem because there's already a night camp pushing. And with a mercenary camp at the top lane, the spell aura that it provides, and the terror, plus a 5 versus 4 advantage, you can guess how this is going. This is likely going to be key. And that will be the lead in structures, and a pretty significant one at that. And of course the Terror at the bottom of the map has pushed out the lane and saved the bottom key. It went actually really low, as you can see here, but it's still in play. Mid lane gets pushed, and now they're going for the keep right here. And they have everything they need. Another 10 seconds, but they're actually falling back. Playing this maybe a bit too safe, that's the question. Are they okay with just taking a few forts here? Keep at the top is still going to take down a notch. It's actually losing a lot, but it's most likely not going to fall. Falls it again with the wind tunnel into the corner. They're trying to get the kill set up here. They don't have it yet. Bottom of the map, fort is soon going to be attacked too. Top lane keep is in trouble, as they're just moving away from it, but Rhaegar is trying to help out. Yeah, keep low. Keep low. It's pretty much an identical position on the map. I mean, this is the only difference, and this fort could fall now too. If not, then it's at least going to be incredibly close. And yes, there we go. I mean, again, it's an identical situation on the map in terms of structures. It's mirrored. And 10 kills against 11. 21 versus 21. For a fourth map, this is awesome. I mean, this is as close as it possibly gets at this point. Every team so far had an objective. The big difference is that the Vikings are still looking at 2 seeds. So for the next seed spawn, that will give them an advantage, since they can be the ones to decide whether they want to go for it or not. Can also let it slide. Globals are going to be highly important now to try and put pressure onto those keeps that have nearly been taken down. But yeah, it's going to be... It's going to be a pretty special setup now. Yeah, the Haka obviously wants to make sure that they get the camp at the top so that they can pressure this, that the lane is not getting pressured. If that lane ever gets pressured towards the keep is down. When it comes to damage output, 45,000 for Thrall, 56k for Junkrat now. He's starting to go ahead. Wit gets thrown in. Sundering, Cursed Bullet. Wit tries to save him with a Wind Tunnel, and it's instead, well, it's both that fall. Garrosh falls first. Dehaka is also in the backline here. Quest is completed for Jaina. Finally, the Ice Block available for her. Camps are pushing every lane against the red team, but they still took the counter kill. 11 against 12. It is incredibly close right now. I mean, insanely close. So now once again, Falstad at the top. And Falstad, of course, is starting to get more and more stacks together. He's sitting at 50 now. Dino's damage output from the auto attacks is benefiting from the duration of the game. Normally I would say Malfurion is also adding more and more roots to the quest, but he's only sitting at 10, so this is not really an insane amount by any means. But for Falstad, this is going to become quite impactful. His auto attacks are starting to hurt, especially of course with the Giant Killer on level 13. As another seed attempt, that's the third one. Red team has to fight over it, as we explained earlier. They don't have a tank with this, neither does the blue team. Uh-oh, Thrall misses the wolf. Okay, needs to be careful. Malfurion is ready with the root to cover not only the retreat, but also try and lure the opponent in for it. Still dodging around the grenades here. A little bit of a setup against Max Passion. Eats some damage. They're trying to isolate him again. And the Ancestral barely able to save him. Isolation against Jaina. They're moving away from the Riptire, but the fight isn't over yet. Now it's a 5 versus 5. Here comes the Tranquility that dragged the Ice Block. And there. Oh, the escape. No way! Jaina still goes down as Greymane dives in deep for the kill. The blue team also takes the objective. All of a sudden, it looks like we could see game number 5 coming up. They try to go for a second kill. They want the second kill. They want the momentum. Every single lane gets pushed, and that's the opportunity for the Vikings to end the game in their favor, to force the 5th and final map in this best of 5 series. Right there. Bot lane keep is going to fall 100%. The middle, that's a different question. They're trying to make the play, and they're going for Wit again. The Sundering covering him for a moment. Wit on the move out, and he escapes. Greymane goes down. The plays. Falstad with another big hit, and that's at least for now the chance to save the game itself. Yes, keep at the bot lane, that's eliminated. Uh-oh, 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 uh-oh. There's again the Gust, the taunt, but Wit gets out. Whoo! And Thrall at the top was able to defeat the incoming wave. Dino on 57 stacks now. 18 stacks, by the way, for Malfurion. So he added another 8 stacks in pretty much no time. But this game isn't over. It's still not over. 12 against 13, but what a setup. That could have been game. Not quite. Dino's still trying to... Oh, there's a setup! Again with the Sundering. He gets one after another, and they take him down! The dinosaur is dead again. What a play once more. One last catapult at the bottom of the map, but now they're going for the camps. They're trying to get some value here. Oh god, this game is getting crazy. It's all over the place. I mean, right now we have 14 kills against 12. They get a little bit farther ahead. Falstad is sitting on 60 stacks. Rhaegar has not died. The only one that hasn't died yet. This is a problem, though. This is a huge problem. And it seems like they're not reacting to it. So if they actually, especially with the Siege Giants coming in, not making a play there, that pretty much means that they have their hopes set on barreling through the bottom of the map, while we still have Dehaka dead for another 18 seconds. But they're moving away from it now. The top keep has been saved by the minion wave, but as the Siege Giants come in, they need to take care of it. And, well, it seems like Wit is going to be the one to do that. Yeah, he has to. I mean, those Siege Giants are going to rip that apart. Now they go for camp after camp. Seeds obviously are still important, but at the same time, it's 0 seeds against 0. So it's not like another objective is going to spawn any second. There's not going to be terrors on the map anytime soon. But yeah, they're pushing out the top lane. Advantage goes to the Vikings now. On a structural point of view, they have the upper hand. But we are 23 minutes into this game. with the catapults that we have spawning on each side, this means that those are slowly and steadily starting to become incredibly powerful. I mean, it's Winion territory that we're talking about right now, and those siege giants are extremely helpful to prevent the bot lane from just wrecking them in the long run. But the first seed is given up by Feel the Heat. They just didn't go for the last one. They just said, okay, this is not happening. Pushing top keep though? That could work. They're trying to move in again for that one. Trying to also see if there's any traps set up against them, and so far that's not the case. Junkrat is doing the same thing, double checking the bushes. Bot lane siege giants still help out, but they are finally going for the push at the top side. They have the aura. Spell shield is there. Can they push through that? That's the main question. They have enough wave clears with Zul goes in right away. They want the keep and they have a good chance of getting it. There's a little bit of poke damage against it, but it's not enough to take it down yet. It's close, but they need more poke if they really want to get the continuous catapults on the top lane. And honestly, it would do it would make a huge difference. If you have continuous catapults topside, that would really relieve a lot of the pressure against you. But they're now moving down to the bottom of the map to get in position for the next seed. And also for a bit of a trap here. Uh-oh! There we go. But nope, there's no follow-up. There's a little bit of follow-up. Is there enough follow-up? Ah, Backhult misses it this time. The Ancestral, what a sundering! The kill against Junkrat. And here we go. Insane again, the setup with the triple sundering. Absolutely perfect. And they get one kill after another. They go for the little doggy. He's dying too. And that is 4 heroes down. Absolutely dominant. Dehaka again trying to prevent the unpreventable. They go through the bottom keep right now like hot butter through cheese. They don't leave it any chance, and they are on the way to the core and to victory. What a play. The last setup that we just saw, Blade with the big boy sundering, making it possible for the team. They get Dehaka. It's a 5-man wipe, and this is game. Feel the Heat with a 3-1 victory in the best of 5 series in Division S. They take the first big important match as Season 2 starts. GG and well played. Great performance here by Feel the Heat.